We usually picture a European summer filled with crowded plazas and breezy coastlines. Today, those postcards are replaced by tourists struggling through a suffocating heat haze and locals fleeing advancing wildfires. The extreme temperatures have forced even the Vatican to adapt, moving the Pope's weekly audience indoors, leaving the usually packed expanse of St. Peter's Square completely empty to keep pilgrims out of the blistering sun. Austria just recorded a temperature of 41.2 degrees Celsius, shattering its national heat record and marking a level of heat rarely seen in Central Europe. 40-degree heat represents a physical mismatch, 20th-century infrastructure operating in 21st-century temperatures that it was never designed to withstand. Europe is currently the fastest-warming continent on Earth, and the mechanics behind these current temperatures are highly specific. This map shows high-pressure atmospheric systems drifting over the continent. Usually these move through, but these specific circulation patterns have stalled and locked into place. Once it stalls, this high-pressure system acts like a physical lid. It pushes down, trapping hot air near the surface, and blocking cooler weather fronts from entering for days on end. This trapped heat turns the continent into a pressure cooker, setting the stage for a cascading failure across the region's interconnected utilities. The first domino to fall is water. Sustained 40-degree heat triggers rapid evaporation, turning Europe's major waterways into dry, cracked beds of mud. On the Rhine River in Germany, record-low water levels have exposed massive sandbanks, choking off channels and forcing cargo ships to reduce their shipments. The drought is so severe that as the Danube River retreated in Serbia, it revealed the scuttled remains of dozens of Nazi-era German warships. This lack of water hits the energy grid directly. Modern nuclear and thermal power plants reach their thermal limits quickly because they require massive amounts of cold river water to condense steam and cool their reactors. When rivers dry up, the grid loses its ability to cool itself. Hungary's Paks nuclear power plant recently came within millimeters of a complete emergency shutdown because the Danube's water levels dropped too low for its intake pipes to function. Further south, the Krško nuclear plant in Slovenia was forced to cut its reactor output to 80. In Finisterre, France, the extreme ambient heat and high demand caused a major transformer to suffer a massive blowout. That hardware failure plunged 68,000 households into darkness during the peak of the heat wave. To prevent total grid collapse, industries are being forced into rationing. Car makers Dacia and Ford have halted all vehicle production in Romania, sacrificing weeks of manufacturing to save the national power supply. The heat wave is effectively unplugging modern society by simply overwhelming the physical constraints of an aging energy grid. These infrastructure failures are now hitting the physical landscape, where high heat is fueling uncontrollable wildfires across Greece and Albania. Agriculture is feeling the stress too. The UK is currently facing its worst cereal harvest since 1984, as crops wither under one of the hottest and driest periods on record. Even green technologies are being taxed. In Rome and Milan, electric bus batteries are draining at record speeds just to maintain air conditioning for passengers. These cascading failures across energy, food, and transport prove that no sector of modern civilization is immune to extreme thermal stress. We can no longer treat 40-degree heat waves as freak anomalies. They are becoming the permanent operating baseline for the European continent. The mounting bills from stopped factories, destroyed harvests, and failing grids have exposed a climate insurance gap. As these disasters become more frequent, domestic insurers are being overwhelmed, leaving us to wonder who will pay to repair the damage. Avoiding these costs requires fundamentally rebuilding Europe's water, energy, and agricultural systems from the ground up to survive a warmer world. Europe cannot simply wait for the weather to cool down. Long-term survival requires engineering a society that can thrive at 40 degrees.